So today I'm gonna be showing you how to turn your footage from this into this within 5 minutes. This is my new series called Film in 5, and today we're gonna be talking about cinematic color grading. So first things first, I feel like you should always shoot at a flat profile, which is usually log, depending on which camera you're using. I know even if you are a person watching this with an iPhone, I want you to download this app called Blackmagic app, and it allows you to shoot log on your phone and strips out all of the colors so that way you can dial it back in post. The reason why this is very important is because it gives you more flexibility and you can literally push colors and everything a little bit more and bring out a lot more detail. So the first thing I usually do when I'm editing log footage is I push up my contrast because this naturally creates an invisible S-curve, if you didn't know. So what the S-curve does is it pulls down the shadows, leaves the midtones in the middle, and it boosts up the highlights. This naturally starts to bring the footage back to life, but as you can see, it still has no color to it, and that leads to the next step, which is turning up the saturation. The more that you push up your saturation, the more vivid that your colors become, and pushing it up too high can make things look very artificial and unrealistic, and that's literally what you want to avoid. It's okay to make colors exaggerated depending on what type of emotion you're trying to create, but you do have to understand just that alone. Colors actually can convey messages or create emotion. So if you didn't know, a lot of people are always confused about white balance, right? But what if I told you could actually fix it in post? A lot of people don't know that adjusting the temperature setting actually corrects your white balance. So once I correct my temperature and I get the right white balance and look for my footage, the next thing I like to do is to pull down my highlights. The reason why I pull down my highlights depending on the situation is it gives you a smoother highlight roll off, and that's naturally what gives you a more pleasing image. A lot of people have their footage looking overexposed. This actually can give you a totally different look if you're using LUTs as well. And that's the next thing I want to talk about is using LUTs. So if you don't know, LUTs are called lookup tables, and that's a more technical term, but these are basically presets that are generated to give you the exact look that you see in a lot of people's films or that they use for their videos. And for me, I created a LUT pack that has all of my signature looks that people can literally just drag and drop onto their footage within the click of a button. What's dope about my presets is I made it to where the contrast and all this stuff is pretty much dialed in to where you don't have to do any extra color correction, but there is some LUTs that require you to still make subtle adjustments and tweaks to make it look right. I do have these available on my website if you guys would like to purchase them to get the same exact look that I have for all of my vlogs and my videos, because I only use my own color grade. And that's the next thing I want to talk about is finding your own signature look and style. I want you to understand when it comes to color grading, there is no right or wrong, but there's always a preference. And I tell people this all the time. What might look good to you might not look good to somebody else. But instead of perceiving it as does it look good or not, just worry about if it's creating the right emotion or not. And that's where you literally are going to start to see your footage transform. Another pro tip is when you color grading is to make sure that you're not losing detail. I feel like a lot of people do a great job at filming their footage and it be properly exposed in camera, but once they put it into the computer, they get very confused on how much to turn the settings up and down, and then that's when they start to ruin their shots. Don't be the person that do that. The easiest way to make sure that you know where to stop at when you color grading is to adjust your settings to where it's bringing in more detail, and once you are starting to lose detail, you should stop. And you'll naturally see a way better look with your footage. So with that being said, man, that's going to be all of my tips for today. I really hope that I didn't leave anything out important. It's your boy Prime ATL. I really hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace. Good job. Give me a 5.